Hey guys, and thank you so much for joining me for another week of What's for Dinner. My name is Stephanie. If you are new, welcome, and if you are not, welcome back. This week I decided to stick to my slow cooker in terms of how I made dinner, so everything you're going to see this week is going to be a super simple dump and go crock pot / slow cooker recipe. Fall is around the corner and it's taken its sweet time, but I know it's coming, so I am pulling out all my favorite delicious slow cooker recipes, and I wanted to share a few with you guys. I also wanted to try some new ones and share those with you as well, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one I'm making is a new one to me. It is slow cooker French onion pork chops. So I've got my pork chops, I've got some chicken broth, some onion salt, some French onion soup, Campbell's French onion soup, some sour cream, and then a red pepper, an onion, and a zucchini. So the recipe originally just asked for the broth, the sour cream, the French onion soup, and the pork chops, so I just added in the rest of that stuff. Typical. But yeah, so let me show you how I made it. So the first thing I did was throw the pork chops in there. Literally, apparently. It's like slapping those in there. Goodness. Anyways, so I threw the pork chops in with some chicken broth and the onion salt, and I put it in there for about 2.5 hours. The recipe called for you to drain it after 2.5 hours. So I drained most of it, and then I thinly sliced my veggies and I threw them in for about a half an hour. When you make the sauce, the sour cream and French onion soup, which you're going to see in like 2 seconds, it told you to do it just for half an hour. So I wasn't sure if they said that because the sour cream would curdle or whatever. So I wanted to throw my veggies in for half an hour first before I put that in there. Just for them to get a little bit soft and then finish cooking with this sauce. So this is what it looks like all plated up. I made it with some couscous, which is like the world's easiest side dish. All you do is boil the water, throw the couscous in there, and put the top on the pot, and then it's done like in 5 minutes. So super easy to put together with that. And then I went ahead and put some salt and pepper and some dried parsley flakes on top of this to make it look pretty. This is really, really good. And also, if you're like, I don't know, we eat kind of late in my house, but even still, this only took like 2.5, like 3 hours. So, you know, if you get home by like 4 o'clock, dinner's on the table by 7. I don't know if that's too late for you guys, but I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, super delicious and super easy. All right, so this second one is one that I just like randomly made up one day, and I just was like sick of just using pot roast in the slow cooker as like either like Mississippi roast or beef stew. So I was like, whatever, here's Italian beef stew. So here it is. So I got some pot roast here, cream of celery soup, 1 can, a can of diced tomatoes, some potatoes. I use the like gold ones. What are those called? Yukon Gold potatoes. Onion, salt, 21 seasoning salute, some garlic, some herb gravy mix, and some Italian dressing, like a packet of the Italian dressing mix. So the first thing I'm doing is I am cutting up my little baby gold potatoes here, and I'm going to layer them in the bottom of the pot for now. I'm going to season those with the onion, salt, and the 21 seasoning salute. Then I'm going to go ahead and put together my cream of celery and my canned diced tomatoes, as well as the Italian dressing packet. And I'm going to put some garlic in there as well with the meat. I'm going to stir everything together, and then I'm going to let it cook on low for about 8 hours. So like I said, I'm just going ahead and mixing everything together here and just making sure everything is coated in that sauce. I am going to go ahead and also rinse out kind of like my measuring cup that I mixed everything in, just because I don't know what's wrong with me. I always feel like I don't have enough liquid or something's not going to cook because it doesn't have enough liquid. So I added in a little bit more liquid that way to make sure that my potatoes would cook and I wouldn't have any, like, because sometimes when I make stew or whatever, it just like the meat gets like hard tips because it's sticking out. I don't know. Either way, moving on from my own crock pot drama. At the end here, I'm going to go ahead and add in my last packet of seasoning, which is the herb beef gravy. I always add that in last. I feel like it's like that final push to thicken and make everything delicious. So yeah, let me show you what it looks like plated up. There it is. It is beautiful. It is delicious. I had it with some rice and some green beans. The rice was steaming in the bag, and also the green beans were, so super quick sides. A super delicious dish. Alright guys, so tonight's dinner is going to be chicken pot pie in the slow cooker. This is definitely a crowd favorite at my house. Everyone loves it, and it is always requested. Just a heads up, I don't know why I put that bacon on my board. I I think it was just in the way of me getting the chicken, so I put it there and then just left it there. But there is no bacon in this recipe. There could be if you wanted, you know, it's your life. But anyway, I just don't put it in there. It's a good idea though. Moving on. So there is going to be chicken in here, some onion salt, some 21 seasoning salute. I got a little dried parsley for the top, some chicken broth, cream of celery, 2 cans, a packet of Hidden Valley Ranch, a stick of butter, not a whole stick, but just butter, which is totally optional in case you wanted to butter the top of the biscuits. So optional, in fact, that I totally forgot to use it, and a bag of frozen veggies. So I went ahead and put my chicken breasts down in the bottom of the crock pot. I seasoned them on both sides with the 21 seasoning salute and the onion salt. I am dumping out my 2 cans of cream of celery soup, and I am filling them both up halfway with chicken broth to put in the slow cooker along with the ranch packet. So all that is just going to go in there for about 3 hours. So once your 3 hours has passed, go ahead and break up the chicken. You can definitely put it on a plate to shred it. I usually don't do that unless I want the pieces to be smaller, but this is okay for me to have like in little chunks like that. It's really no problem. So what I did was I chunked it up as much as I could, and this really fell apart so easily. Oh, it's so good. Just even thinking about just even this by itself is like fabulous. But anyway, so what I did after I was sure that I chunked it up like I wanted it done was I went ahead and added in my frozen veggies and just gave that a stir and put the top on for about 15 minutes or so. So while this is going, go ahead and pop your biscuits in the oven, and then they should both be done around the same time. So I may or may not have gone a little heavy on the dried parsley, but this is what it looks like when it's done, you guys. This is definitely one of our favorites. It is super delicious and super easy, which is always a must. Definitely love this meal. Alright guys, so I have another after work special tonight. It's only 2 hours. It uses frozen meatballs, so you don't have to defrost anything. Win. So I just have some honey barbecue sauce, frozen meatballs, some sesame seeds, onion salt, beef broth, teriyaki, brown sugar, and some hoisin sauce, which is basically like Asian barbecue sauce, and some scallions for garnish, and these are Korean meatballs. So after mixing everything together, I threw the meatballs in the bottom of a generously sprayed with Pam crock pot, and I seasoned it a little bit with the onion salt. Everything is in there except for the scallions, so everything that I showed you ingredient wise is already in there, and I put that on high for 2 hours. This is what it looks like afterward, and I'll show you how I plated them up. So let me just tell you guys how delicious these were. I lied when I said it was everything but the scallions. I also didn't put the sesame seeds in until the last minute. I just sprinkled some on top as well as the scallions, and I put it over some steam in the bag rice. This is from Trader Joe's, by the way, guys. So easy, super delicious, and it was just a home run. It was really, really good. Alright guys, so the last thing I'm going to be making this week is going to be chicken stroganoff. So I have chicken, mushrooms, like a medium-sized onion back there, 21 seasoning salute, heavy whipping cream, egg noodles, onion gravy packet, and a mushroom gravy packet. And then I have some mushroom stock as well. This mushroom stock is so good, but if you can't find it, beef stock will do just fine as well. You're really just trying to get like that, you know, beef stroganoff flavor going. Even though it's with chicken, I promise you it's really, really good. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So now that I have all my veggies chopped up, I'm going to go ahead and add them in on top of the chicken. I didn't salt the chicken because I'm putting 2 gravy packets in here, and I'm putting in my 21 seasoning salute, so I think there's going to be enough salt in there for everybody. So I threw my 2 packets in there like you saw, my 21 seasoning salute, the mushrooms, and the onion. I'm going to stir everybody around and put this on high for about 3 hours. I'm also adding the entire container of mushroom broth. So now that this has been going for about 3 hours, I'm going to go ahead and pick out the chicken breast and put it on a plate so I can shred it up. So the cool thing about this recipe is that it's not only a slow cooker recipe, but it's also like a 1-pot recipe. So what I'm doing is I'm dropping in my egg noodles into the semi-boiling mixture here of like the mushrooms and the broth and the onion, and that's all going to cook together while I shred up this chicken. I have a visitor because as soon as I pulled that chicken out of the crock pot, she was here for it. So I'm just shredding it up and getting it into small pieces so that it kind of like jives well with the noodles. And Minnie definitely got some. She always gets a little bit. I know you're not supposed to, but I can't, like, look at that face. I can't tell her no. So I gave her a little piece of chicken, and I went ahead and added all this back to the pot. So to finish this off, I just added about 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream to it and stirred everything around, warmed everything through, and it was ready to eat. So this was my favorite of the week. I absolutely love making chicken stroganoff. It's so much quicker than the alternative, and it's a little bit lighter, it feels like to me sometimes. So definitely try this one out. I think that this was, like I said, it was my favorite of the week. It was super delicious and super easy, especially since you could just like make everything in the same slow cooker pot thing. So that was also awesome. If there is anything I like more than a slow cooker meal, it's a 1-pot meal. So definitely try this one out. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me this week. I really hope you guys got some slow cooker inspiration from this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I hope everybody has a blessed and awesome week.